Sixth race weekend of the BMW IBSF Bobsleigh and Skeleton World Cup. We're in Sigulda in Latvia, the final competition of the first weekend in 2022. It is two-man, it is race 2, and we are ready for the second and deciding heat. Welcome back, everybody, to our coverage of this New Year weekend. As we get ready for the action, Martin Haven and John Morgan with a slightly more regular-looking leaderboard, John, after the first of our 2 heats.
Yes, Team Simon Friedli. He's, won on this track medals before. A brakeman who just went to the front seat like 3 years ago. Impressive performance here in the first run. He puts himself into a bronze medal position, and he's not far off, 2/10 off Team Bradhall, who was the winner in yesterday, or the second place in yesterday's event. And this young British athlete starting to really make a name for himself. 5th best start. Different brakeman today. He's got Nick Gleason, but he's not far out of a gold medal from Francisco Friedrich with his Batman Robin partner Thorsten Margus. Different brakeman than yesterday. Friedrich yesterday finished 12th. First time he's lost a race. Not been on the gold medal position since December 20. He had a couple issues at the start. Both runs hit before curve 1, but today he's only 600ths ahead. He's got the best start. Martin, he did not have a great drive in the first run, but he is the leader.
No, he didn't have a perfect run, but it was definitely a lot better at the start than yesterday, where he twice crushed the wall before turn 1. Simon Friedli with Fabio Badjar making a very rare 2-man appearance. He lies in 3rd place. The gaps are not huge, only 500ths out of the medals. Benny Meyer only 700ths out. Oskars Kiebermanis 800ths out. Christoph Hafer. So there could be some changes. Justin Cripps, 8th place. He was 4th yesterday. A little further back, there's a tie for 11th. Cody Bascu, Roman Heinrich, not too far ahead of Michael Vogt and the rest. 21st fastest in the first heat. Marcus Treichel does not go in the second. His body probably is fairly grateful for that. He had to sit in, so did Mihai Tentea. So the Romanian will go, but the second of our Austrian sleds does not. It's a pretty chilly day. -6 air temperature, -3 ice. Not quite as foggy as yesterday. The humidity is fairly high though, but don't think we'll see the track frosting over the way it has in the last couple of days. Few flakes of snow in the air. Shouldn't be too much to worry about. Shouldn't being the operative word. Thorsten Margus there with a few thoughts on his mind. I'm sure he won't be the only one. Well, there were some definite underperformers yesterday, John, not the least of which Francesco Friedrich. 12th place, his lowest result since an equal 12th place in November 2017 in Whistler. In fact, his only time out of the top 2 in any race since then. Here is our starting order. Mihai Tentea away first. And again, I expect he will be sitting in. So Ivo de Bruin will be chasing down Hunter Church and the rest. And as we get to the top, Meyer, Friedli, Hall, Friedrich, maybe Kiebermanis, maybe Hafer battling for the medals. Final heat in Sigulda. It's race 2 of the 2-man double race weekend. And Mihai Tentea again sits in as he did in the first heat. So Raul Dobra will do all the heavy lifting here, or more accurately, the very heavy pushing, getting the sled and driver underway. 5:66 in the first heat. John Morgan gives Mihai not much to work with.
He had a 7th place finish at the second race in Innsbruck. Then he had another 9th place finish in Altenburg. He ranks, he's right up there in points. 12th in points, so this is going to set him back, probably because the couple guys right on his tail, including Kiebermanis. Well, Kiebermanis will pass him. But Tentea, the Romanians, people don't think of them as a power in the sport, but they won an Olympic medal last time in 1968 in Grenoble. And Panturo was his name. He went on to be a great coach. But the Romanians, got a lot of tradition in our sport. Their last World Championship medal was in Lake Placid in '73. And, they have a track up in the north called in Seattle. It used to be a great natural track that even our president, Ivo Ferriani, used to drive and slide up there on that natural track that they no longer build. But if you go back and look at the results, the Romanians won a lot of medals in the early days of bobsledding.
It doesn't hurt to have your own track. Mihai Tentea definitely can drive, but with a very slow getaway because only one person pushing the sled, and the sled was weighted up with the driver as well. So that leaves him fighting for speed. Nice, neat lines. Probably pretty difficult to adjust to the lower speeds as well compared to what he had yesterday in race 1 and what he had in training when he was pushing hard as well. Well, he's down and done. Next up is Ivo de Bruin. Joost Thomas behind him, making his first ever two-man World Cup start. So Joost, who turns, was he 27 on Tuesday? Little extra early birthday present from coach Tom Delahunty.
Start. That's his nemesis. And this is a short 1,200-meter track, the shortest on tour. And this track and Oberhof have a lot in common, Martin. I mentioned that in the first run. Oberhof's a short 1,200-meter track, a lot of tight, quick turns like this, but it doesn't even have a two-man start. You know, no four-mans go down it like this track. And, you know, here they got a long start for a two-man. But, you know, a lot of good German drivers started off driving that track in Oberhof, driving the two-man sleds, because you can drive that. If you could drive this, you could drive, because there is a lot that comes at you pretty quickly.
Well, that area around Suhl produced the likes of Andre Langer and a whole host of others that have preceded him and followed in his footsteps. Yeah, long list of talent coming out of the Oberhof track. Skids across the line, but takes the lead, 50.3, 3/10 better than his first run down.
Well, he's got the best ice to work with. He went last in the first run, so second in the second run. Yeah, the ice does provide a, you know, an advantage. Think of the ice before a hockey game starts. It's all shiny up. Then after the first heat, the first period, they bring out a Zamboni and they shiny it up again. But late in the period, the ice gets a little cloudy. And that's what happens here too. Martin, there's a lot of high humidity in this track, up in the air in this track that people talk about. Good lines by Ivo.
We've had sort of rainy, snowy conditions all weekend, so the humidity just frosts the track up a little. So Ivo and Joost are down and done. And they were chasing down this man, Hunter Church, with Josh Williamson behind him. Big figure of the brakeman there on the left of your shot.
Good story about him. He's one of those Olympic hopefuls that they did that tryout in 2017. He won it, and here he is on the verge of making an Olympic team. Hunter's a three-generation bobsledder from Katyville, New York. Doesn't get great starts. 16th best start in the first run, 5:05. He had a pretty much similar starts yesterday. Best start now, but he didn't have a good drive down the track in the first run, Martin. Compared to yesterday, he drove pretty well.
And I think that was the key to it. A little tidier at the top of the track, so he's opening up his advantage. It was 1800s, now out to 33 over Ivo.
That's all related to he beat him up on the start. So this should get out to 4000s or so, and probably maintain the same lines as Ivo on the bottom. Watch out, right there's the danger spot. He's through that without a little bit of a mishap.
Yeah,
got the best speed
into 15.
But
probably won't remain the best speed for long, but he will have the lead 2500, so a little quicker. 700s added to the advantage. There's Shauna Roebuck, who's here coaching at the end of the season.
Better. Ivo went 3/10 better. He went 1900s better with the same start. Williamson, pretty big boy, lacrosse player out of the state of Florida, Martin. How do they get, you know, you say how can they get people out of Florida? Well, one of the most famous guys who ever got out of Florida was Brian Scheimer. He's still coaching the team from...
What did you do? Go down and kidnap him, though, right?
No, I did send him a plane ticket, though. He'll tell you that.
That's the same.
We did get him up in the summer of '85, and he's still around. But
here's a ticket. Come and summer in Lake Placid and get away from the oppressive heat of Naples. Well, you know, it's going to work.
See you in Winterberg. Four-man.
See you in Winterberg, indeed. Back to 2- and 4-man action next week in Winterberg, and then the glory days of St. Moritz in a fortnight. Sun Kai-chi of China with Shi Huao behind him, while lots of other drivers have alternated breaks around in the women's and the men's race. Here in the two-man competition, China have remained with the same pairings in both their sleds. Now, they had pretty decent runs yesterday, not quite as fast as they would have been with a bit more track knowledge. Let's see how we fare.
He's got a chance to post his best finish of the year, 18th at the moment. Right now, he's about where he is, so
yeah,
a couple hundredths ahead of Hunter Church, and beat Hunter there by 400ths at the start. So this could grow out to 10 or 12 here, and then, yeah, only one. So,
yeah,
by the Americans, I'm liking this.
Good. Hunter had the top speed at this stage.
Yeah, he should have been. Watch out.
Got it.
Only 100's back. Best speed, though. Ooh, he's up there the lip. Good line.
Now that's straighter than Hunter. This should bring him back into the green. Better speed.
I don't know.
Across the line.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, doesn't.
So Hunter gets one. The Chinese fall back one. Finishes exactly where he finished yesterday, unless somebody crashes. 18th spot.
Well, again, Sun only 22 points ahead of Lee, his teammate, Lee Chun-jan, who comes up in 2 sleds time. Closed on him yesterday, finishing 17th to
watch this transition.
Sun's 20th.
Ooh. Little airborne and the crossover to that gremlin part of the track. And here he flops down like most, but then he has a hard hit front bunk to back bunk. When you double hit like that, look how high he gets there. Yeah. You won't see any higher lines than that. Yes, people get up there in a high line, but that was right up near the wood.
All right, so Sun Kai-chi, the leader. Next up, Patrick Baumgartner, Youth Olympic champion 2012 in boys bobsleigh. And 2 medalists from those games in Innsbruck. This week, Benny Meyer took a medal yesterday in the men's 2-man. He was the silver medalist in boys bobsleigh behind Patrick Baumgartner. And this morning, Misha McNeil, the silver medalist in the women's race behind Marta van Huygenbusch. She was the silver medalist. She took silver in this morning's race. But Patrick Baumgartner yet to get to those heady heights.
Alpine ski racer, you know, doesn't get the starts. His favorite athlete, Valentino Rossi. Pretty well expected coming out of Italy.
Yeah. I think Valentino Rossi is a bit like Schumacher and Senna, rates very highly on any fan's radar, doesn't he? Patrick Baumgartner dropping behind, was only 200ths over Hunter Church at the start, coming back, better speed.
But he had 700.
Oh, big move, big moment.
Even with the best speed, I don't think he's going to do it.
Going to be close, 200.
200.
Oh, that big skid. That's what killed it out of 15. And that was close, though.
You get beat by 700ths at the start and 200ths at the bottom. Almost drove out of that bad start, but this didn't help.
Yeah.
Soft landing, big skid. No, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad there. It's the other straightaway. They show it to us
14.
right here.
Yeah, this is out of 15.
15. This is where the skid is. And that.
And there the driver's just going, no, come back, come back. And it doesn't want to come back.
Please, and here's, that's sealed it right there.
Yeah. He was pretty straight going into 16, but the damage had been done. Already put the brakes on. So, Hunter Church continues to lead. Next up, Lee Chun-jan. And this is going to be a very important heat indeed for Lee. He's 100th behind Andrinov, 200th behind Vogt. If he could somehow leap both of those, that would put him ahead of Sun Kai-chi, his teammate, in the overall World Cup standings and IBSF rankings for the first time this year. This, if he can pick up 2 places, will make him China #1 in terms of points earned.
5:02, decent start.
Yeah.
Not great, but, you know, in the first TD at the 15th best start.
100th off his teammate, and John, it's all about the battle between him and Sun Kai-chi right now. He doesn't care about anybody else.
The race within a race. This is a 25-year-old driver. He's from Shanghai, track and field athlete. 3,400's lead. Now, can he get through this spot coming up right here in the transition? That looks good.
Gaps coming down.
Good lines. Yeah, but those are great lines. Maybe they're great lines because he's stealing too much.
Good.
Maybe. These are great lines.
Take the lead here.
Great. Yeah, this is a good run. This is his best finish ever.
Yeah,
Martin,
50.19.
Look at the expression. He knows. Look, the Chinese are showing us some emotion. They know it. Look.
Yeah. Well, look, we're a month away from a home Olympic Games. They must be ready to burst already.
And the Chinese women 4th and 6th this morning's event.
Yeah.
Yeah, the field wasn't loaded, but still, that would have been top 10s. That 4th and 6th might have been 7th and 9th and 10th. Not a great start.
He was 17th yesterday, John. His World Cup best result is a 10th place. Even 2 more places now will make him the top scoring Chinese driver in terms of points earned this season.
Where did he get a 10th, Martin, last year?
Moritz last year, yeah. 2 years ago, because he wasn't here last year, 2 years ago. Well, next up, and really in the spotlight as far as China is concerned, Maxim Antonov. Change of brakeman today to Vasily Kondratenko. Let's see how well they gel in the second start. The first wasn't as great as you might have hoped.
11th best start, but 5 flat exactly like he had in the first run, but best velocity, which is, you should have that with the best start of the heat. But Martin, he didn't do well. He's, you know, with that 11th start, he drove him into this 14th position. You know, but he's got better ice to work with. He started 18th in the first run.
14th yesterday, tied with Mihai Tentea. 400s up only on the Chinese sled. Chinese sled had best speed at the bottom. He's got to match that. Russian sleds were getting good numbers yesterday. Gaps down, 300s. Hasn't got the speed that we saw from Lee. Li Chunjiang could pick one off here. It is going to be close, very close. At the line, 900s up. He just holds on. So at the moment, you talk, I'll do quick maths.
Well, his time is better by 300ths than he did in the first run. You know, and he's a veteran Russian pilot that does better in the 4-man. Rudder tips here. I mean, this is a smooth, very quiet exit of the curve. No spray. That's just one of the better ones. Taps there, but that's pretty good. Then here, well, you can't fault the steering of the sled here at all. That little tap isn't bad. Goes into there straight, no skid. Now into the uphill section of the track, right over the hump, perfect. He drove himself into that. He didn't drive like that in the first run. Look at the camaraderie, Russia, China. Like it.
Right, the deal between the two Chinese drivers, they were 22 points ahead. Currently, Lee is outscoring Sun by 18, so he will end today, if nobody drops between them, 4 points behind Sun Kai-chi. How tight is that? 2 races remain. Yeah, no kidding. Okay, next up then, let's focus on Mikkel Vogt. Well, last year we had 4 two-man races here in the crazy 12-race season. He took 3 medals, a silver and 2 bronze. He can't get in the sled. Gets around turn 1, okay.
That cost him something. I mean, he still has the best start, but that's misleading because that's gonna fall back. Yeah, he's already behind. He should have been, you know, green numbers for a long ways. You know, he's got to fight for perfect lines, like Andrianov just had perfect lines in the bottom. He's only 100th back. As you said, this guy's medaled on this track before, Martin, and here comes the green numbers.
3 times last year, that's very late.
I've crashed there like that earlier today.
Yeah.
5 different women's teams crashed on that spot, including the last sled down going for the gold medal. So that's not easy.
Unbelievable ending.
5:02, that's not bad. considering the start mishap.
Yeah, good second heat.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Well, again, he's medaled on this track before. He shouldn't be back here fighting for a top 10.
Yeah. I'll see how he gets hooked up. He gets his feet in, but doesn't get them around the bungees or something.
Yeah, yeah. He's got his foot caught on something. He's trying to adjust. Not a lot of room in there to adjust your feet. Trust me. Now he gets it. Now it's too late.
Look at how much he missed the wall by. Remember, Francesco Frigyk hit that left-hand wall twice yesterday, making a mistake getting in.
Boy, he was right on the edge there, Martin. Got away with it.
Wasn't he, though?
Look at the speed. Boy, he had a lot more speed coming down the track. But, you know, this is a guy who's medaled on this track. Poor performance yesterday. He's right around the top 8, 9 in almost every race this year. That wasn't perfect there on the entrance to that big curve at the bottom.
All right. So, steady the nerves again. Michael Vogt and Sandro Michel lead for Switzerland. We have a tie for 11th place. Roman Heinrich tied the time set by Cody Bascu. So the Frenchman and his brakeman Dorian Otteville go off first. 5:04 their start. Again, they need a bit more oomph from the line. 5 flat, that helps.
This brakeman's 31 years old. He's from Lyon. 10.5500 meter. So he's a sprinter on the back, that's for sure. 1200.
Yeah, that's quick. Dominic Dvorak is a 10.900 meter runner. His brakeman, who was due to go with him yesterday, the Czech national champion, 10.16.
Well, Roman's been driving himself into these positions.
Yeah.
900.
And these are good lines and still good speed.
Really been doing well the last 3 races. He's been in the top 10.
Going to be within 100th or 2 at the line, a 10th in front. He found a little more at the bottom. Okay, time to breathe again. Yeah.
He's been doing it, Martin. He's just been getting better.
Not far away from a top 10 result. That's a possibility still.
His nemesis, he gets the 11th best start in the first run.
Yeah.
And he'll have about that the second run. So you got to be perfect driver when you have the less than average start. Here's that transition that can be very challenging, as we saw this morning in the women's competition.
Kind of
5
sketchy.
sleds went over there. Yeah. He flopped off there, came pretty straight, as good as anybody. And then as soon as I said that, he started to skid.
Well, best result here for Roman, a 6th place. At least he didn't make a mess of turn 1 in the second heat. That's what ruined his first run. Well, he was tied with this man, Cody Bascu, with the man mountain that is Hakim Abdul Sabur. Mind you, it's a fast-moving mountain as well.
Yeah,
he's more of a tsunami. Let's give him. Look at the way he towers everybody on the
big
block.
Man, bodybuilder, goes to those fitness competitions. Went to the University of Virginia Wise. Boys, he is quite a specimen.
Yep.
Cody had a good first run. That's one of his best runs since his first heat in Innsbruck, where he was second at the end of the first heat of the first event of the year.
Best result here. 2018, he was in 9th place. One good run here, and he could at least match that.
Start time,
here we go, 497.
Yeah, exactly as he did in the first heat. So Cody from Whitehall, New York. Got 1 Olympics under his belt. Top 10, 4-man, 500 up. Got to be clean. Roman Heinrich was. 700, that's a good sign. Everybody hits there, not a problem. Watch him on the crossover. Get out of here without hitting hard. 800 stuff.
Keeping it straight. He's doing the driving he needs to. Just
much better
away from Roman Heinrich. Yeah.
Much better run by Cody Bascu.
Oh, by 100. Oh.
Wow. So make him no worse than 11th. Right. Big turnaround for Cody. Yesterday he was 19th, so he'll be happy with that performance. He's going down to the Europa Cup Frank Del Duca's coming up, but that doesn't mean Cody's not going to make the Olympic team. There's still a lot of racing yet.
Well,
He's
he's second best in points, and his only rival who'll be earning points now is Hunter Church, who is the only the 5th placed of the 5 US drivers.
But he gets way better starts than Hunter, so that's my belief is he should be the Olympic 2-man driver, at least one of the 2 spots.
Well, certainly if they get 2 spots in terms of points, it should be Del Duca and Bascu.
Well, it's also, you need a start time. Good lines. Cody, much better.
So 10 sleds down and 10 to go, the final heat of 2-man action here in Sigulda. A little bit of snow in the winds this afternoon here in Sigulda, just about a 45-minute drive from the capital Riga. And there, 5 stories above ground, is the holding area behind the start dock for all the sleds. They sort of loop around and make their way to the ice just on your right-hand side. And the coaches all watching the big monitor there, checking out the action. Changing rooms on the left-hand side, that's where the athletes come from. There's the ramp up to the start. And the first sled going up, it will be for this man. He's already there, lying on its side. Put the runners down on the ice at the last time possible to try and keep them as, well, cool rather than cold as you can.
What a facility this is, Martin. They built it in the mid-'80s. You know, it's got 7 floors. The 5th floor is where they have an elevator goes up that brings the sleds up. But there's no mountains in Latvia. So the only way they could build something that provides enough speed at the start was to put it up 5 stories. And great thing on Facebook, Martin Stucars, we mentioned it already. Great documentary, really produced by our IBSF team. You know, if you get a chance, go and watch that, the history. And the thing is, Martin Stucars isn't doing the narration. You know, he was born and raised in the track. His father, Dennis, manages the track. And he's the greatest of all time skeleton athlete. So it was a very great piece. Congratulations to our team for putting that together. It's on Facebook. Yun Jing Wan, our next guy up, he's been moving steadily forward from the first part of the season where
Race 6, BMW IBSF 2-man Bobsleigh World Cup. We're in Sigulda in Latvia. 10 sleds down, 10 to go. There's your current leader on the left-hand side, Cody Bascu. The man he tied with in the first heat was on the right, Roman Heinrich. He just beat him by 100th of a second. Yun Jong-won next up has 11 hundredths in hand over Bascu from the first heat, but doesn't start as quickly, so the gap shrinks.
9th place yesterday, Martin. This is the 6th event. In 2 of the 5 events, he didn't even make the cut. And this was the guy who won the 2015-16 World Season title, including winning the last event in Viesturs in Königssee, Germany. You know, beating Germans on Germans tracks doesn't happen too often.
Yeah.
And this guy, you know, he's been coming on though.
Yeah, doesn't seem to have that form at the moment, but the gap is creeping down. He's got good speed at the bottom, 1:15 flat. So it should go out. It does go out. He's going to take the lead away from Cody Bascu and will finish in the top 10. Yeah.
Hey, it was a great run for Cody Bascu. Another great run for our Olympic silver medalist in 4-man from Korea. That was, what a spectacular result that was. He's coming on, Martin. He's getting better every event. Gets a little bit of a start time over there. He's got some great eyes and hands.
Well, he's had a 9th place finish here previously. He may possibly be able to do that. That was yesterday.
Martin, he also has some of the biggest quads of anybody on the field. Look at the lines. I mean, quiet steering. I mean, those eyes aren't even blinking. I mean, he's one of the best.
Yeah. So Yun Jong-won with the lead, 9 to go. Next up is the first of our 3 German sleds in the top 9. Hansi Lochner, he was the best of them yesterday, finished in 6th place. Eric Bruckert is the brakeman today, coming over from Hans-Peter Hannighofer's crew. It's his 2-man World Cup debut. He's made 3 4-man World Cup starts. So you can expect perhaps that the hit isn't going to be quite as synchronous as it might be with somebody more experienced, or more practiced with Hansi.
Guy.
Yes, he is.
He's a javelin thrower, that brakeman, and Oberhof at 494. That's same as he had in the first heat. Was the 5th best start time, and he's got a big advantage. It's only 700s up. He should be more than that.
Yeah.
With the start advantage. Just gets down to 5. I'd be nervous. No, he's kept it at 7, and he's got the best speed. But he shouldn't be back here in this position. This is the 2nd World Cup points. Well, it was before yesterday. Now we split to 4th. Only down to 3. Watch out. Oh, he's almost late there. I got to believe that's going to cost him dearly. It does. He's going to fall behind.
Had 2 medals here last year, but drops back behind Yun Jung-won, so one will at least match his result from yesterday, which was 9th place. And Hansi, yesterday he was 6th. He will be no worse than 10th, but, you know, that's not great, is it?
He's not happy.
Yeah, not happy with himself.
Not a good weekend here for him. And
mistakes early on before corner 3 cost him speed.
Crash.
Yeah,
that's
you
know, he had
dramatic
700s up. Yeah, then he got it to 3, and then out of here. That's not the way you want to make the sled get off the curve.
He'll be all right with a few more years driving practice, though, don't you think? You know, he's got the right attitude.
Nothing bothers him. He's always smiling.
No, this isn't the big one. Big one is next month. Next up, Justin Cripps, Cam Stones. Cam celebrates his birthday, turns 30 on Wednesday. Yeah, come on, Cam, before you're an old man, like almost everybody else in the rest of the crew. Justin Cripps then, 8th place, 100th ahead of Hansi Lochner, 200s in hand over current leader Yun Jung-won. This is effectively a dead heat on any track, even more so here.
Surprised that Cripps was back here in this position. The first heat didn't have a good first run. Start time, you know, the best so far. He had a 491 in the first run, 491 in the second run. He had the 2nd best start in the first heat. He shouldn't be back in this position with that start, and especially with a guy with the eyes and hands like he has. Here he goes. This is, you know, 1900s. He should be the leader easily, but the track might have something to say to that. Only down to 9. Watch out.
And look at the speed.
Way off.
This is going to be close. One might pick up another one, and he skids there again, as he's done, I think, in every run so far. Close at the line, he's behind.
So one man's treasure, another man's trash for Cripps there. Not good. Probably his worst performance. No, he had a bad performance right off the bat. He's 3rd in World Cup points.
Well, he hasn't been lower than 6th in Altenburg. He's had 2 bronze and 2 4th places. He was 4th yesterday, and this will be no better than, where are we now? 9th place.
9th place.
Yeah, worst race of the season.
Can't see where he lost it. He had a huge lead up top. Just time.
It was only 700s at the biggest, and so. And here, watch the skid as it breaks loose over the brow. He got a tap. I just nudged the nose away, and he was sideways into 16, the fastest part of the track.
He'll stay in 3rd World points, though.
Well, next up, yesterday's race winner, Rostislav Gajtukovic, with Mikhail Mordasov. He told me in the interview afterwards that Mordasov was already due to stand down for Alexander Efimov. Efimov taking over for today, so Mordasov got the gold yesterday with Gajtukovic, and today Rostislav trying to break his way into the top 6. First job, though, is to hold off Yun Jung-won. His lead over the Korean, 400s.
Well, 490, best start so far. 2nd best start in the first run. Tied
Cripps won by a 10th.
Yeah, yesterday he was 10/100ths better to start, but of course the start track's 500 slower. 2300's up, Martin. He shouldn't lose that. Hope I just didn't jinx
I
him.
don't believe you just even said that. 10th best speed. You see what you've done now already?
Yeah. Watch out, wait. 1300. This is just like Cripps. 7th best speed, though. It's better than
Best
Cripps.
speed. One was quickest below 10, all the way to the line. He has the top speed, and Gajtukovic does not make it.
So one, if he finished,
the writing was on the wall. Wow.
That's okay. If you would have told him yesterday, you're going to win the race, but finish 8th the next day, he'd take it for his first ever gold medal.
Yeah. Well, the only two races that one has actually made the second heat in before yesterday, he was 17th. He's had two 21st place not make the second heat. Yesterday he was 9th. Today he will be no worse than 7th. So if Division 1 could camp out here, imagine what one season would have been like last year if he'd been here for 4 races.
Well, it just shows you how good of a driver he is. Eyes and hands.
Yeah.
Not much wrong with this track, with that run. Good weekend for that young Russian.
Yeah, home from home and his first ever World Cup gold medal. It is a good weekend for the Russian. So what about Christoph Hafer? Slipped down to 10th place in yesterday's rankings and was not the 3rd German sled. Yeah, again, phrases you don't expect to say. Lucas Fritz behind him, 26 years old, makes his 2-man debut after 3 starts in 4-man World Cup. It's only the 6th 2-man race.
509, 505. They're 400s better. He's going to need it because, you know, one was, I mean, he should have 2500s in the bank here.
Well, he only had 900s to start with.
Oh, he's already 300s back.
Yeah.
He's already
gone. You heard the tap 3 to 4.
Well, everybody says the top 4 curves, you can't make any mistakes. It dictates the run. Now the question is, he could fall 3 places here easy. And one could move up to 6th.
In all the ways this place is not like Winterberg, it is in the first 4 corners dictate what happens for the rest of the track.
Speed.
2 turns back. He is in free fall, John. At the line, he is 5th equal with Cody Basque. He was down to 7th on the splits going into the final turn.
So I give Cody
and it
Basque
all was gone by 3rd. Yeah, Cody is joint 5th with 5 to go.
Top 10.
Well, Hafer, 10th yesterday, 10th today. Not the 3rd German sled again.
Start time, 1,200-meter track. You know, he can get away with this. He medaled when? In Altenburg a couple weeks ago? Yeah, he got 2nd in Altenburg. Well, in Altenburg, you can get away with a little bit of a deficient start, especially if it's your home track like it is his. And, you know, he comes from luge, Martin, and I'm sure he was on this track with the German luge team a lot. And this is about knowing the ice. And this track here, you don't have a start, boy, you're naked at 1,200 meters.
Yeah. All right, well, Latvia's Oskars Kībermanis in the top 10. Yesterday, he finished 8th with Davis Springus behind him. Today, Matas Miknis on the back. They are 5th after the first heat. 3,700s away from a lead on a track where he has won twice and taken 3 silver medals. This is home ice. This is where he learned how to drive. It also apparently is where he's forgotten how to drive.
Well, Martin, he's still in the top 5, and we're bad-mouthing him because he has had suspect results. 1 medal all year in 4-man. This will be his top finish in 2-man. He can maintain this position. 2,200's up. What do I say? If you're 2,200's up, you should be the leader at the bottom. How many times have I said that?
Taylor, our winner this morning, that was her first women's bobsleigh medal of the season. So you can make a big difference when it all goes right. He's still in the lead over 1. The gap is enough. Speed is enough. Yeah.
Unless he turns
clean up to 16. He will take the lead. It's a top 5 run. Is it a medal-winning run?
I don't know about that. 49.88. You know,
That's only 100th quicker than Yun Jong-won managed in this second heat.
Yeah, he outstarted Won by 800s.
Yeah, he was a 10th up.
You know, considering what he's done all year, Martin, he's 13th in World Cup points. His best finish was an 8th yesterday.
Hansi Lochner goes to offer his congratulations.
He might be coming back on point, where he should be. I mean, he's one of the best athletes in the field. Firefighter by profession, comes from a decathlon background. He's got great eyes and hands. He's got the equipment. Been perplexing for him.
He's only ever had 2 World Cup wins, and they were in one weekend here in Sigulda.
Yeah, but he's medaled a lot in the other tracks.
Yeah. Okay, 4 to go. 200s ahead of Oscar's Kibermanis and 500s out of the medals. Benny Meyer, yesterday's bronze medalist. Christian Huber on the back of the sled. Marcus Sommer was with him yesterday.
He's got a bad leg now, so 499
well,
start the first run. So he should 503, 497. Well, bad leg and all, he just pushes 200s better.
Limps to a faster start.
He might have been trying to get some sympathy, but hey, now he's got to do what he did yesterday. Great eyes and hands. Drove himself into that position. Now he's got more. He's second World Cup points in 4-man. 1000's
good
back.
Speed. That's good speed. Second fastest sled. Lochner was fastest, not Kibermanis.
Oh, 700's
better
back.
Speed. 700s. Here we go.
Gonna
if he's
need
clean
perfect
here,
line here.
And he wasn't in the first heat. Oh, it's going to be really close for the medals, but I think it's Kibermanis. It is Kibermanis will be a medalist again.
No, there's 3 to go. 3 to go.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
But I think that might be a medal for Kibermanis. I don't know if Friedli's going to be able to match that.
We will see.
Still, you know, pretty good. Good weekend here for, you know, good start time there, guys. But,
no crowd. That's track staff there, by the way. There is no crowd here this weekend, unfortunately. But yeah,
this didn't help.
Quite clean enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cleaner than his first heat. Not clean enough. The first heat was a little bit more hits than Elvis.
Yeah. Good speed on the bottom, but better start, Martin. Impressed with him limping around on the first heat to.
Well, let's hope he hasn't done anything to his calf or his Achilles. 3 to go then. Oscar's Kibermanis leads from Benny Meyer and Yun Jong-won. That's a tight top 4 as well. Any mistakes now, you could be in free fall. Simon Friedli, bronze medal position after the first heat, and the Swiss has been a medalist on this track before. Took a silver medal here in last year's, in 2020's race. It was a silver in the European Championship race. Fabio Badraon behind him has been in and out of the Swiss team for a number of years. It's his first 2-man race in forever.
Martin, didn't he win a silver medal and then the next race, the next day crashed?
Crashed out, exactly so.
Here he is going for a medal again here. And he was going for a medal that day too.
He was. He always goes for a medal. 600s ahead of Kibermanis. And the gap after the first heat was 700s. He's opening up the margin.
He hasn't been near the podium this year. He's at a 2/5 the last 2 times out. Ooh, watch out! That was close. Oh, that was close. 9th best speed. He's got to be perfect in this next straightaway. Watch him as he enters this curve. Ooh, skidding. Watch out. 12th best speed.
2 medals on the track. Is he going to get another one? He's not. In the medals is Kibermanis.
Finally gets to the podium.
And Friedli is third. He's not second, so it will be a top 6 run. But Kibermanis leads from Meyer, and Friedli slips 1. Friedli's only 300s ahead of Yun Jong-won. Friedli was third after the first heat. 1 was 10th.
There. Really, watch the transition here. Look at that. Look at the spray come up. That's a lot of pressure if you don't hit that take on. And then here, that mistake up there cost this here. Comes pretty straight. Drift. That wasn't bad. How about here? Ooh, that's a hard hit there. And that causes the back end to get loose. Boy, you can lose a lot. Look at that skid there. You can lose a lot of time on the bottom part of this track, Martin.
Seaman Friedley disappointed with that, but it is Oskar Skibermanis who leads as we get to our top two. Tied for the lead yesterday, Brad Hall and Greg Cackett, with Nick Gleeson behind him. He is 600ths off the lead. Today, though, the leader is Francesco Friedrich. Let's see if yesterday's silver medalist can reap the rewards of that result.
Nick Gleeson, 494 in the start. First run, 491. 300 better. Really, what a season for this young athlete from Great Britain who, boy, 2015-16 season, we saw him crash up in Whistler, major surgery on his hand, sort of set his career back a couple of years, Martin. But boy, he's had a breakout season, including that silver medal yesterday. He's going for it now.
Still, he is going for it. He wants to win this. 3,800s up. He is pulling away from Skibermanis. It's not about Skibermanis' best speed of all. 4,200s. This is trying to challenge the greatest two-man driver of all time, Francesco Friedrich, for victory here. Brad Hall at the line, 49.70. That is a good second heat.
Wow.
You know how good? We will find out in 2 minutes, but Brad Hall will get at least a silver medal out of this. So for Great Britain, a silver for the two-man, a silver for the women. That has to be a first ever. Lee Johnson, I know you're listening in departures. Tell me if I'm wrong. He will. Well, that's a huge run for Brad Hall.
Great start. Don't think the guy up top wasn't watching the splits. He only had 600s to play with. Wow, good racing.
Saying hi to Sandra Kroll and her family. He spends a lot of time in Bavaria during the summer. Next up then, Francesco Friedrich and Torsten Margis. Yesterday, 12th. Today, leading after the first heat, did not bounce it off the wall before turn one.
These guys together, they're like a Batman and Robin. Between them, with all the gold medals, most of his gold medals is with Margis on the back. 488.
Two of the 6 wins he's had here being with Torsten, the other 4 with Alexander Schuller.
Got about 5 world championships with Margis on the back.
Actually, 3 with Schuller and 1 with Martin Grotkop. Can't leave Martin out of the equation. So Friedrich, 1,400s up.
13. He made some mistakes down here, though.
Where's the speed?
He made a big mistake right here in the first heat. On the exit here. Well, he's on point now.
1,200 to the second.
Enough. If you go sideways,
tuck right down. Third best speed. It is going to be gold, surely, for Francesco Friedrich. It is by only 600ths of a second.
So he's back on point. But he has only this. He tied. That's unbelievable. He tied.
Same run as Brad Hall. He was 600ths in front after the first heat. He wins by 600ths. He found nothing over the British sled in the second heat. But after that one anomaly yesterday, he is back at the top. And do you know what? He loves a good race. Everybody wants to win. Nobody wants to just walk away with nobody challenging. They all talk about the competition and how much it means to them, and he is no different.
One of the most humble athletes you're ever going to meet. I mean, this guy, wow. Torsten, you've been there before. I'd like to know how many of those 59 gold medals. How many is that now, Martin?
That is his 60th World Cup win, isn't it? In total, that is 40
gold medals.
42 in two-man, and Torsten Margis has now got 30 of those 42.
30. Wow. Batman and Robin,
of just the golds in just two-man. The rest of it, we'll deal with. That is a week's work, is to work out how many they have won together. because you have to look at every single race result, and there's a lot of those. Francesco Friedrich, his 60th World Cup medal, his 42nd two-man win in his 80th two-man race. Brad Hall, second straight silver medal in 24 hours. Oskars Kibermanis takes the bronze after finishing a disappointed 8th yesterday. He turned it around, so did Cody Bascu, so did Yun Jung Won in a big way. And look at the difference between Lee and Sun. As Hunter Church dropped back behind Lee, that will now put him ahead of Sun, his Chinese teammate, in the overall IBSF points.
You know what the best thing about that leaderboard? 8 different countries in the top 8. Yeah. I love that. Yes. Bobsledding got 8 different countries in the top 8. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, Francesco Friedrich has the occasional glimpse of humanity. He has humanity every day, but sometimes he looks fallible and beatable. Yesterday was one of those times. It was the first time since November 2017. Normal service has been resumed. Do not expect him to be anything other than the hot favourite going to Winterberg next week, St. Moritz in 2 weeks, and Beijing in a month's time.
St. Moritz is where he won his first World Championships, Martin.
Yes,
2013.
It is.
Came out as the junior world champion and ended up winning.
Yeah, he came as the junior world champion in 2012, didn't get onto the podium. 2013, he was fully formed, retakes the points lead, or extends the points lead over Rostislav Gajtukovic, Justin Cripps and Hansi Lochner. Brad Hall, hot on the heels of Lochner, only 10 points behind, 4th place now, ahead of Benny Meyer. There are the rest of the group, and overnight, Yun Jung Won has hopped up ahead of Marcus Treichel, who drops down to 17th place. And Dominic Dvorak sinking down to 20th, having not raced here this weekend. So all sorts of stories coming out of Sigulda. Now we're in the downhill race to Beijing. In a week's time, it's Winterberg, Germany. In 2 weeks, the home of ice sliding, glorious St. Moritz. And then 2 weeks before the games begin. Until next weekend then, when we start our action as usual on Friday morning. For the IBSF TV crew and John Morgan, it's Martin Haven saying thank you for joining us. We will see you in sunny Winterberg. Bye for now.
Gerade so gereicht, da hatten wir heute noch Glück. Aber wir sind zufrieden, wir haben nach 4. und 3.